find a comfortable seat. Add some height beneath you if that supports your body. And then begin to lengthen your spine. Make whatever adjustments you need so that you can feel settled in here. Just observing how your body is feeling today, and then adjusting your posture accordingly. Let's start to invite our attention into our bodies. I want you to begin to notice your breathing, allowing your breath to flow through your nose. As the breath moves in through the nose and out through the nose, think of each inhalation supporting the spine to lengthen, and each exhalation inviting more softness into the body. Allowing the breath to grow longer and deeper. Connecting to the feeling of the belly expanding on the inhale. Navel gently drawing back towards the spine on the exhale. Keep lifting the crown of the head up towards the sky. Lift up through the chest. Staying lifted up through the chest. The next time you exhale, gently relax your chin towards your chest. Continue to breathe down into the abdomen. You can pause here with your chin in the center of the chest, or as you inhale, you could slowly roll your chin over towards one shoulder. And as you exhale, take the chin back down to the center of the chest. And if that feels good, maybe over towards the other shoulder. And continuing those little half circles if that feels good for your body. You're also welcome to make full rotations if that feels safe for your neck. If you're making full rotations, make sure you rotate in both directions. The next time your chin is at the center of your chest, let's pause there. Taking a nice big breath in, lifting the crown of the head up, your shoulders are rolled. Check in with how your legs are feeling. Feel free to adjust your legs if you need to, maybe giving them a shake or taking the opposite foot forward. Once you feel comfy in your seat, keep extending the crown of the head up towards the sky, and then bring the hands up onto the shoulders. So the fingertips are in front and the thumbs are behind. We want to try to keep our shoulders relaxed away from the ears. And we're just going to make nice big rotations. So I want you to draw the elbows down and back, and then up and over. So if you're making big circles, drawing those big circles with your elbows, but making sure that you're rotating in such a way that doesn't create pain through your shoulders. Maybe each time the elbows draw forward, you see how close they can draw towards one another so that we spread apart a little more through the shoulder blades. And then I want you to change direction. So we're going to draw the elbows up and back, down and around. So same thing. Thinking of elbows drawing big circles, but only as big as feels safe for your joints. Noticing the carriage of the head as you make these movements. Trying to keep the back of the neck long and the lower jaw relaxed. And as you breathe out, let's release the arms. You can give them a shake, maybe roll through your wrists or roll through the shoulders, whatever little movements feel good for your body. And again, checking in with your legs, noticing how your lower body's feeling. Do feel free to stretch legs forward, shake them out, change your posture if you need to. And then lifting up through the crown of the head. Let's take a big inhale, reaching the arms wide, opening up across the chest. As you exhale, cross your right arm over your left arm and either wrap your hands around your upper back, so you're spreading your shoulder blades apart, or with your elbows crossed, you could bring the backs of the hands or the palms together and then reach the elbows forward and up. Keep the back of the neck long, lifting the crown of the head towards the sky. And think of the tips of your shoulder blades drawing down towards the floor. Big inhale, arms open wide to the sides, open up the chest. As you exhale, bend your elbows, take your hands to your lower back and interlace your fingers. Here, I want you to focus on your head over your ribs and your ribs over your pelvis. So our spine is stacked. And then keeping that stacking of the spine, your elbows can stay bent or you can extend your arms. As the arms extend, be careful you're not pressing your chin forward. Lift the crown of the head up, lengthen the back of the neck. And then keep taking nice big breaths that open up across the chest and the belly. And as you breathe out, slowly release and give your fingers a wiggle, roll through the wrists, whatever you need to do. And then nice big inhale, arms reach wide again. As you exhale, left arm over right arm, palms can wrap around, or you can find your eagle arms with the arms intertwined. Okay? If you're in eagle arms, reach the elbows forward and up, and at the same time, draw the shoulder blades down. And soften your cheeks and your forehead. Try to relax your hips. Big breath in. Let's take the arms wide. As you breathe out, elbows bend, hands come to low back. Interlacing the fingers, this time with the opposite thumb on the outside. And stacking up through your spine, you can keep your elbows bent or once again, let your arms extend. And the closer the palms draw towards one another, the deeper this will be. So do what feels good for your body. Let's take a breath out and release. Again, wiggle the fingers, roll the wrists, have a little shake. And then I want you to stretch your legs forward in front of you. Give them a shake, maybe roll through the ankles and wiggle the toes. And from here, let's bend our knees, feet flat on the mat, hip width apart. Bring your hands behind your thighs. We're going to take a nice long breath out, round through the spine. And as you breathe in, reach your chest forward, roll your shoulders back, tip your head back, relax your lower jaw. As you exhale, round through your spine. Inhaling forward and up. Exhaling to round. A couple more times at your own pace. The next time you breathe out, keep your back rounded. And take a big breath in, sitting up nice and tall. Okay, keeping your hands behind your thighs. From here, as you breathe out, I want you to think of a tiny curl of your tailbone underneath you, so your ribs, bottom ribs and hip bones get a little closer together, and you can feel like you're scooping the belly in and up underneath the ribs. And then as you breathe in, you might lift one foot off the floor or both feet off the floor, coming into boat pose. I want you to start with your heels low, so we focus on keeping the fronts of the hips relaxed and tapping into our core. You soften the shoulders away from the ears, coming out of this anytime you need to. You want to deepen the intensity and you feel like your hips are pretty relaxed, your core is doing the work, then you might inhale the shins parallel to the ceiling. You still scooping the navel back and up, lifting up through the sternum. Maybe your arms hover, still taking those big deep breaths. We're going to inhale, hands behind the thighs. Exhale, touching the feet down to the floor. Then I want you to round your spine, take a few deep breaths here. Breathing in, sitting up nice and tall. Let's stretch our legs forward in front of us. You have the option of sitting up on the edge of a block or a folded up blanket or a cushion. And then I want you to check in with how your lower back and the backs of your thighs are feeling. So if the backs of the legs feel quite tight or your lower back feels tender, please start with a bend in your knees. Okay, we're gonna have our feet hip width apart with our ankles flexed. If backs of the legs, lower back feel fine, then you might start with your legs fully extended. Okay. Drawing your navel back towards your spine, take a breath in, stretch your fingertips up towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, hinge from your hips and fold over your legs. You're welcome to let your spine round when that feels good for your body. Hands can rest on the legs or on either side of them. Let's take our chin towards the chest. And think of your breath drawing down into your lower back. I want you to take one more breath out here and just let your body get really heavy. And then drawing your navel towards your spine, as you inhale, slowly roll yourself back up. Once you lift your head up, you can roll your shoulders. And from here, moving any support off to the side, let's come onto our hands and our knees. Welcome to add extra cushioning underneath your knees if that feels better for your body. Let's align our wrists underneath our shoulders and then bring your knees together underneath the pelvis, feet together. You can rest tops of the feet on the mat or tuck through your toes. And then find a nice long neutral spine. So we're going to reach the crown of the head forward, hug the navel in, spread wide through the fingers. I want you to pause here for a moment. Notice your breathing. And as your breath deepens, see if you can tune into the sound of your breath. Maybe amplifying that sound by gently narrowing the back of your throat. So your breath sounds like ocean waves coming and going. And from here, with your core engaged, let's take a breath in, slowly reaching our right leg back behind us. Keep your hips squared towards the floor and flex your ankles. The toes point down towards the earth. Still stretching the crown of the head forward, back of the neck long. You can hold here, come down anytime you need to, or inhale, take your left arm forward. Let's keep hugging front ribs towards back ribs, spine nice and long, reaching your right heel away from you. You're welcome to stay here or bend your right knee, sweep your left hand back, see if your hand and your foot are friends today. If it's an easy connection, Press your foot into your palm. Press down through your right fingertips and knuckles. Keep your breath steady. You're going to take a big inhale, extending the arm and the leg. And as you exhale, lower your palm, lower your knee, around through your back, roll your wrists, make any other little movements that feel good for your body. And I want you to come back to neutral. Align your wrists under your shoulders, knees together, feet together. And tune into your breath, let it be slow and steady. You contract your abdominal muscles as you inhale, stretch your left leg back. Ankle flex, hips square. Lengthen through your spine. And coming out anytime you need, holding here or inhaling, reaching the right arm forward. Soften your facial muscles. You can stay here or bend your left knee. Sweep your right hand back. Don't force that connection. If it's easy, press your foot into your hand. Try to unlock your left elbow. Be mindful of your breath. And take an inhale, extend your arm and your leg. We're going to exhale, lower the palm, lower the knee. Again, give your body permission to make any movements that feel good. And then with the tops of the feet resting on the floor, big toes touching, your knees can stay together or they can go wider than the hips. We're going to sink the tailbone towards the heels and come to child's pose. So feel welcome to support your forehead with a cushion or stacked palms. Maybe it feels nice to invite your hands back beside your feet. However you're choosing to arrange your body, I want you to focus on breathing deeply into your abdomen and your lower back. With a breath in, let's stretch our palms forward, hands shoulder width apart. Gazing up to the top of your mat, carefully come forward onto the belly. Reaching your legs back behind you, rest the tops of your feet on the floor. And then gently touch your forehead down and extend your arms back alongside your body, palms facing up towards the ceiling. Let's stretch our tailbone towards our heels, so we lengthen our low back. Keep the tops of the feet heavy on the floor. And then draw your navel towards your spine as you inhale, reach your head and chest forward and up. Backs of the hands can stay resting on the floor, or you can lift the arms, extend the fingertips back, engaging through the backs of the upper arms, the triceps. Stretch the crown of your head away from your toes. Keep your breath nice and deep, coming down anytime you need to. And as you breathe out, let's slowly lower. And you can touch your right cheek down onto the floor. And slowing down your breath. As you inhale, let's bring the head back to the center. Touching the forehead down. Hands can stay on either side of the body, or you could interlace your hands at your lower back, keeping your elbows bent to begin with. Make sure tops of the feet stay on the floor. Draw your navel towards your spine. Inhale, head and chest forward and up. If the hands are apart, your arms can lift. If your hands are extended, you could reach the knuckles of your hands back towards your toes. But think of length rather than height. Lengthen through the spine. And take an exhale to lower, releasing the hands. Touching your left cheek down onto the floor. Bring your head back to the center, sliding your palms underneath your shoulders, spread your fingers wide, and then contract through your core. As you inhale, come up to your hands and your knees. From there, I want you to walk your wrists slightly ahead of your shoulders with your hands shoulder width apart. And then bring your knees into your hips and tuck through your toes. Take a long breath out, little rounding through the spine. And contract your core as you inhale, lift your hips up high, and come to downward dog. Tailbone's lifting up as the chest gets a little heavier. Keep pressing down through the knuckles of your hands and your fingertips. Notice the quality of your breath. You can always take child's pose at any time, so listen to your body. Contract your abdominal muscles. As you inhale, step your right foot up between your hands, aligning your right knee over your ankle. We're going to come into side angle, so lower your left heel to the mat, left toes turned in slightly, making sure that the heel of your right foot lines up with the arch of your left foot. And then I want you to take your right elbow lightly onto your thigh and your left hand onto your hip. We're going to anchor down through the outside edge of our left foot. Think of your right knee drawing out towards your pinky toe, and then gently draw your left shoulder back. Open your chest towards the ceiling. Okay, option 1, stay here. Option 2, back of the left hand can come to the low back. Or you can reach that left hand to the top of your right hip, coming into a little bind. And then I want you to adjust your gaze so your neck feels comfy. The hips get a little heavier. Try to be light on your right elbow. Engaging your abdominal muscles. As you inhale, take your left hand up towards the sky. We're going to draw ourselves all the way up, arms out from the shoulders. You can extend your right leg. Let's press down into the ball of the right foot. Lift up through the chest. Engaging your core as you exhale, reach out over your right thigh. Right hand can touch down. Again, left hand, let's bring it back to the hip. You're pressing through the ball of the right foot, keeping a micro bend in that right knee. You can keep left hand on hip or left hand to the low back or coming back into that bind, reaching for the top of the right hip. And maintaining as much length as you can on both sides of your torso. So let's stretch our left hip out to the left and extend the crown of the head away from that. Adjusting your gaze anytime you need to, keep your neck at ease. Engaging through your core as you inhale, extending the left fingertips up, using that to draw yourself all the way up, arms up from the shoulders. As you exhale, take our right knee back over our ankle. And here, we're going to try to keep our ribs hovering over the pelvis. Warrior 2. And gaze out past your right fingertips, softening your shoulders. And as you breathe out, I want you to relax your arms down, taking your hands behind you. You can grasp your wrists or your forearms or your elbows with your palms. We're going to keep opening our chest towards the long edge of our mat, gazing out over the right shoulder. This feels good. Maybe you come into a reverse prayer, so palms come together behind you. Notice your breathing. As you inhale, extend the arms out from the shoulders. With an exhale, take your hands back down to the floor, lifting your back heel up, engage your core. As you inhale, step your right foot back to downward dog. You can also go straight to child's pose, so you listen to your body. Steady your breath. Feel free to stay in child's pose or down dog. If you want to move through a little bit of a flow, you can engage your core. We'll take an inhale, come forward to plank. Bring your shoulders over your wrists. Okay, always an option to touch the knees down or come onto the forearms, so please listen to your breath, your body. As you exhale, it's all touching the knees down to the earth. Option 1, child's pose. Option 2, look forward, lift your tailbone up. We're going to hug the elbows into the sides of the ribcage, slowly lower the chest and the chin down to the floor. You're touching down through the pelvis, the tops of the feet, and the forehead. Tops of the feet stay heavy. As you inhale, reach forward and up into cobra. Elbows are hugging in, shoulders down. And with an exhale, we're going to slowly lower. And then breathing in, you can come up to your hands and your knees and take child's pose or downward dog. Wherever you're choosing to be, I want you to focus in on your breath. Let's all meet in downward dog. And from there, I want you to engage to your core as you inhale. Step your left foot forward till left knee is over the ankle. Keep breathing out. We're going to touch our right heel down to the earth, right toes turned in slightly, checking for that heel to arch alignment. And then left elbow can come light onto the left thigh, right hand onto the hip. And grounding out to the outside edge of your right foot. And then imagining that elastic band from the left knee up to the right shoulder. We're going to draw those apart. From here, you might choose to take your right hand to your low back or the top of the left hip. Gaze can be straight ahead, up or down towards the earth. See how light you can be on your left elbow. Contract your abdominal muscles as you inhale, send our right fingertips up. Slowly draw ourselves up. You can lengthen through your left leg. You're pressing down firmly into the ball of the left foot. Big breath in, lift up through your sternum. Engage your core as you exhale, stretch out over your left thigh. Left hand can touch down, right hand to the hip to start with. And keeping that micro bend in your knee as you lengthen through both sides of the torso. Let your chest open towards the ceiling. And then maybe right hand comes back to the low back or the top of the left hip. Notice how your neck feels. Keep anchoring down through the outside edge of your right foot. You contract through your core. Inhale, sending the right fingertips up. Draw yourself all the way up. Arms out at shoulder height, palms facing down. As you exhale, left knee over the ankle. You're gliding the ribs back over the pelvis as you gaze out past your left fingertips. Move the breath out. Let's relax the arms down. Hands come behind you. We're going to come into our bind of choice. So maybe that's holding the wrists or the forearms, maybe the elbows, maybe coming back into reverse prayer, whatever feels good for you. Let's inhale, arms out from the shoulders. As you exhale, hands come down to the floor, lifting up through the back heel, engage your core. Breathe in, left foot steps back to down dog, or you can take child's pose. Feel free to stay exactly where you are. If you're in down dog, you want to move through a flow, contract through your core, inhale forward to plank. Any variation of plank that you like. Be in a place where your breath is steady. And breathing out, let's touch the knees down. Child's pose is there for you, or you can lift your tailbone, lift your gaze, draw the shoulders out over the fingertips, and then elbows squeeze in as you exhale, chest and chin lower. Coming all the way down onto the belly, lengthen the back of the neck, and then engage your core. Inhale into cobra. You exhale to lower down. As you breathe in, pressing to hands and knees, you can take child's pose or down dog. Always choose the place that's best for your breath. Let's all meet in downward dog. From downward dog, as you inhale, I want you to step your feet forward to the top of your mat. You can bend your knees as much as you need to, coming into a forward fold with your feet hip width apart. Let your head hang heavy. Arms can dangle, or you can hold your elbows here. As you breathe out, releasing the hands towards the earth. Once you contract your core as you inhale, take your hands onto your shins or your thighs and lift up halfway. Hug the navel in, stretch the crown of the head and the chest forward, shoulders back. The more you bend your knees here, the easier it is to lift your tailbone. That helps you lengthen. So you adjust to suit your body. Let's take one more big breath in. And then exhale and fold forward. Pressing down through the soles of the feet, engage your core as you inhale, reach your arms wide, take your chest forward and up, sweeping the palms up. As you exhale, draw your hands down to your heart. And stretching the crown of the head up. Close your eyes or soften your gaze. Take a moment here and just notice how your breath feels. And fixing your gaze on one point in front of you that isn't moving. Contract through your core as you inhale, lift your right knee up in front of you. And as you exhale, take a big step back with your right foot. Okay, we're going to bend our left knee over our ankle. I want you to turn your right toes in slightly, kind of similar shape to side angle. So we're going to find that heel to arch alignment. And then opening the torso to the long edge of the mat, I want you to take a breath in, stretch your arms out from your shoulders. Turning your left hand to face the ceiling as you exhale, stretching your right fingertips back, reach your left arm up. Maybe your gaze can look down, straight ahead, or up towards the sky. Think of the left side of your rib cage lifting up towards the ceiling as the shoulders soften. And as you inhale, drawing the arms out from the shoulders. Let's take an exhale. Just place your hands onto your hips. I want you to shorten your stance a little. Walk your right foot in a little bit closer. And maybe grab some support. So if that's a block or a book or a tin can out in front of you, we're going to come into a bit of balancing. Okay? So I want you to bend into your left knee. With an inhale, we're going to reach down to our support, whether it's a block, a book, or the floor. And our back heel is going to take off as we shift our weight onto that left foot. Okay? When you're ready, you can take your right foot up, flex that right ankle, and start to stack your hips coming into half moon pose. Reach the crown of your head away from your right heel. Let your chest open. Hold here, or inhale and take your right arm up towards the sky. Your right hand exhales down onto the hip. We're going to turn the chest to square towards the floor. Slowly lower your right foot down beside your left foot, and let's just fold ourselves all the way forward. The feet hip width apart, as much of a bend in your knees as you need. These long, deep breaths here. Contract your abdominal muscles as you inhale. Hands can come to shins or thighs. We're going to lift up halfway. Exhale to release. Pressing into the feet as you inhale, sweep your arms wide, reaching forward and up. Exhale your hands down to your heart. You're pausing here, taking deeper breaths. And I want you to fix your gaze on something out in front of you, not moving. Contract through your core. This time as you inhale, lift your left knee up in front of you. And as you exhale, take a big controlled step back with your left foot, touching your heel down. Torso can open to the long edge of your mat. And we're going to make sure our left toes are turned in just a little bit, right knee over the ankle. And a nice big breath in, arms extend from the shoulders, turning your right hand to face the ceiling. Use your exhale. Left hand stretches back, right fingertips reach up, soft shoulders. And you gaze wherever your neck is comfy. And take a breath in, arms up from the shoulders. As you breathe out, palms can come down onto the hips. We're going to shorten our stance. So walk that left foot in closer. Turn the left toes in more deeply. Place your support close by if you need to. And then from here, as you inhale, we're going to bend into our right knee, stretch your hand down to our support, and start to lift that left heel, lift the left toes. Flexing your left ankle, lifting up through that leg. Start to stack the hips and the shoulders. Press your heel away from you. And if it feels great, you might inhale the left arm up. The most important thing is your breath, so notice how your breath feels. Come out of this anytime you need to. Let's exhale, hand onto the hip, square the chest towards the floor, carefully lower left foot down beside the right foot, feet hip width apart. Let's fold ourselves forward. Contracting your abdominal muscles. Hands can come to shins, thighs, or fingertips to the mat. We're going to inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale to release. And then big breath in, rising up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Pausing here, let your attention draw into your body. Pressing your palms together. Lift your sternum up towards your thumbs. Take a big inhale. And engaging your core as you exhale, bend your knees, sitting back into chair pose. Knees hip width apart, chest lifted, navel drawing back towards the spine. Depending on your breath, you might stay here or inhale, extend the arms, hands shoulder width or slightly wider. Bringing the palms to touch. As you exhale, hands draw through center, fold all the way forward. Hands to shins or thighs or fingertips to the mat. Let's inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale to release. So we're going to hang out here for a few breaths. So arms heavy, head heavy. Hold your elbows with the backs of your legs. If it feels great, you could also interlace your hands at your lower back, resting there or extending the arms in Yoga Mudra. And good breath out. Let's release our arms all the way down in front of us. One option is to come straight down onto the mat. Second option would be to walk your feet wider than your hips, turn your heels in slightly, carefully lower down into a squat. If your heels lift as you do that, add support underneath them. Let your knees and toes point in the same direction as you start to lift up through your chest. Option to touch your palms together, breathing into the belly. Don't linger here if it creates any pain in your body. And with the breath out, hands supporting you. Let's carefully come down to sit on the mat, stretching your legs out in front of you. Give them a shake. And then you might choose to sit up on the edge of a block, a folded up blanket. And we'll touch the soles of the feet together. Let the knees fall out to the sides. I want you to create a diamond shape with your legs. So let your heels slide pretty far out in front of you. And then rest your hands onto your knees or your shins. Start with a big inhale, lift your sternum up towards the sky. And contract through your core as you exhale, slowly relax the torso forward. Spine can round when it feels good for you. Head heavy, nice deep bend in your elbows, soften your shoulders. And then focus on your breathing. One more long exhale, let your body get heavy. And tucking your chin towards your chest, engage your core, inhale, and stack your spine. Once you're sitting up tall, you can roll your shoulders. And stretch your legs out, give them a shake. If you're sitting on any height, move that out of your way. And then I want you to shift yourself forward on your mat so that you have lots of space behind you. We're going to sit with our knees bent, feet hip width apart, flat on the floor. Hands will come behind your thighs to support you as we roll down, or your arms can hover out in front of you for a little more core strengthening. I want you to take a big breath in, sit tall, soften your shoulders. And then engage your core as you exhale and around the back, slowly rolling down through the spine. Walk your hands down your legs if that feels good. If it feels better to lean back on your elbows, you can do that too. You're gonna come all the way down onto the back, squeeze the knees in, and then rock side to side. The legs in the middle. Keep your knees and feet together, ankles flexed, knees in towards you. Let's relax the arms down onto the floor, palms facing down. Gently draw your chin towards your chest, lengthening the back of your neck. Now I want you to draw your navel towards your spine. As you exhale, slowly lower our feet down to the floor with control. Try to keep hugging the front of the ribcage towards the back of the ribcage so the ribs aren't popping up towards the ceiling. And whenever your feet touch down, I want you to walk them out to hip width apart. Have a little rock side to side if you like, balancing your weight through the back of the pelvis. Let's align the ankles underneath the knees, spread out through the fingers and the toes. And take a long breath out. Imprint your lower back into the floor. And then contract your core as you inhale. Begin to peel your spine up off the mat. Think of your shins reaching forward as your hip bones press up towards the sky. Big toes keep pressing into the ground. You can come out of this anytime you like. Keep the back of the neck long. Stay here or hug your shoulder blades, or walk them rather, towards one another, and then interlace your fingers, extending the knuckles of your hands towards your heels. If your elbows bend as you do that, keep the hands apart, palms pressing down into the floor. Big belly breaths here. Let's do one more really full breath in, releasing the hands flat on the mat. Engaging your core as you exhale, roll your spine back down to the ground. And as you come all the way down, invite your knees back in towards you, ankles flexed, knees and feet together, resting one palm on each knee. Take a really deep breath in. And contract your core as you exhale with your forehead towards your knees. You can always support the back of your head with your hands. So if there's tension in your neck, support your head, soften your shoulders. And as you exhale, slowly return your head down to the floor and take another rock from side to side. And then I want you to quietly lower your feet back down to the ground. With your feet hip width apart, let's flex our right ankle rested onto the left thigh, right knee opens up. Option 1 is to stay here. Option 2, both hands to the back of the left thigh. Draw your left knee towards your left armpit. Think of the length of your spine here. So keep your sit bones reaching forward. Gentle draw of the chin towards the chest, back of the neck along. Maybe you're using your right elbow to gently help your right knee open up away from you. Whatever you're doing, you're keeping your breath nice and steady. And with the breath out, let's slowly return the left foot down to the floor. And then from here, I want you to slide your right leg across. So now your legs are crossed, right knee on top of left knee. We're going to take our arms to cactus arms, so elbows bent to 90 degrees in line with the shoulders. Engage your abdominal muscles as you inhale. Carefully shift your pelvis slightly to the right. Keeping your core turned on as you exhale, slowly lower your legs to the left. If this feels like too much for your lower back today, please uncross your legs. Just stack knees and feet one on top of the other. Or maybe you stick a block or folded up blanket or cushion underneath your legs to give them some support. You want both shoulders to stay on the floor. Let the shoulder blades get heavier. You're welcome to turn your gaze up towards your right arm if that feels good. Imagine each inhalation expanding your lower back. And returning your head to the center. Contract through your core as you inhale, draw the legs back to the middle. Carefully shift your pelvis back to the center and then uncross your legs, squeeze your knees in towards you and rock from side to side. And from here, knees in the center, I want you to slowly lower your feet down to the mat, placing them hip width apart. This time, we're going to flex the left ankle comes onto the right thigh. Yeah, option 1, you can stay here. Option 2, reaching for the back of the right thigh, draw your right knee towards your right armpit as you maintain the length in your spine. And let's try to soften the chest, the neck, and the shoulders as much as possible. And exhale to slowly lower your right foot back down to the ground. And we're just going to slide our left leg across. So now left knee is stacked on top of the right knee. Returning to cactus arms. Let the backs of the hands be heavy. Engage through your core as you inhale. Carefully shift your pelvis slightly to the left this time. And then moving slowly with control, exhale the legs over to the right. If this feels at all like it's straining your lower back, you can uncross your legs or add some support underneath them. And close your eyes or soften your gaze and just let your breath travel to wherever you feel tension in your body. Let's return the head to center. Draw navel to spine. Inhale, knees to the middle. Shift the pelvis to the middle. And then uncrossing the legs. Squeeze your knees in one more time, rocking from side to side. From here, I want you to grab a sip of water or some socks or a sweater, and we're going to stretch out for our relaxation. So you can take your legs out long, feet nice and wide apart. If that feels like a little too much for your lower back, you're welcome to take some support behind your knees or lay on one side if you need to. On your back, your hands could rest on the belly, or your arms could go wide with your palms facing up towards the sky. And take your time, just like we did at the beginning of our practice, to just get settled into a position that feels best for your body. Once you've settled in there, you can close your eyes or soften your gaze. It might feel nice to gently tilt your head from side to side a few times. Feeling the connection of the body to the floor. Just letting the weight of the body sink heavily into that support beneath you. Softening any tension that's lingering in the body. Enjoying this time to relax and be still. Start to notice your breath. Let it deepen. Gently begin to move your body. And let those movements start to grow a little bit bigger. And keeping your gaze soft or your eyes closed. Just to carefully roll over to one side. And then slowly press yourself up to a comfortable seated position. And once you're comfy in your seat, lengthen through your spine. Let's take one more big, full inhale and a long, slow exhale. Thanks so much for being here today.